and we are part of the Gaming Fixx network. And I've been working on something all afternoon, and sometimes it takes a while to just get it going. So, unfortunately, it's not done today, but it is something to look forward to next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Do my math. 7 p.m. So that's right. That's why it is. It's 7 p.m. So you can go see Dynamite at 8. That's right. So that's specifically that's done for that reason. Also, remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you are on Twitch, then you can subscribe, and we'd appreciate it. The way you can do that is if you have a Prime membership, you actually get a free subscription, and we would love for you to subscribe to the channel. Also, we have chats going, so if you want to chime in, I will always be willing to respond. And that's about it. We're going to be going through everything and all the things. But first, it's time to talk about the superstar of the week. And so let's get right down to it. Excuse me. Austin White, born August 2nd, 1997, is an American professional wrestler and bodybuilder. He's currently signed with WWE, where he performs on the Raw brand under the ring name Austin Theory. Prior to joining WWE, he wrestled in the independent circuit, including several promotions under the WWE Network umbrella, such as Full Impact Pro, Evolve, along the way winning the WWN Championship, FIP World Heavyweight Championship, and the Evolve Championship. In WWE, he is the one-time United States Champion and the winner of the 2022 Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. He made his professional debut on May 5th of 2016 under the ring name Austin Theory, defeating A.R. Fox at WWA 4 event to win the WWA 4 Heavyweight Championship. He continued to work in events around the Georgia area. He made his Progress Wrestling debut on April 1st, 2017 at a Progress and Evolve joint show, losing to Keith Lee in a four-way match involving Jason Kincaid and Blaster McMassive. On August 12th, 2016, Theory made his World Wrestling Network debut at Full Impact Pro. He made his Evolve debut at Evolve 78 on February 24th, 2017, defeating Darby Allin. Theory soon acquired Priscilla Kelly as a valet, and on December 18th at Evolve 97, Theory defeated Fred Yahi to win the FIP World Heavyweight Championship. Let's see here. NXT. On August 15th of 2019, it was announced that he had signed a contract with WWE and would report to WWE Performance Center. On December 25th episode of NXT, Theory made his in-ring debut, accepting an open challenge against Roderick Strong for the NXT North American Championship, but failed to win the title. On the January 8th, 2020 episode of NXT, Theory achieved his first victory by defeating Joaquin Wilde. Theory appeared on the March 20th episode of Raw as an associate of Zelina Vega, establishing himself as a heel. Theory teamed with Angel Garza and Seth Rollins in a losing effort to Kevin Owens and Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. On the second night of WrestleMania 36, on April 5th, Theory and Garza unsuccessfully challenged the Street Profits for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The following night on Raw, Theory and Garza lost to the Street Profits in a rematch for the titles. After defeating Akira Tozawa on the April 13th episode of Raw, Vega's other associates, Garza and Andrade, joined him in beating down Tozawa as all three posed together, confirming their status as a faction. However, on the May 18th episode of Raw, he was attacked by Andrade and Garza after accidentally costing them the tag team match against Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens, kicking him out of the faction. Later that night, he assisted Seth Rollins and Murphy in attacking Aleister Black, formerly joining Rollins' group as a disciple. However, following the June 22nd episode of Raw, he stopped appearing with Rollins and Murphy. And I can kind of go from there. Then after that, we had, after being a disciple, and he kind of was floating around, and then we had Vince McMahon deciding to, after like this very weird egg storyline, which most of you remember, he was taken to, he started doing this whole selfie gimmick. And one of the things about Austin Theory is that he is very well respected in a lot of ways. We know that Vince McMahon actually did see him as an up-and-comer, and we have Jim Cornette has several times over said that Austin is a someone who's really coming along, and he's looking forward to that he's very athletic, and that he's clear, and that he has more going for him than John Cena did at his age. So he's definitely someone that's up and coming. They did just have him lose the briefcase. However, they fixed that the very next Raw. He explained his reasoning for making a go of Seth Rollins, and then he just was kind of a monster, just really athletic and coming out. So he's definitely looking really good, and that is what is going on with Austin Theory, our superstar of the week. And today we are going, I don't know what to do, because I know it's a possibility that when explaining some of these matches and how they came out, we do end up sometimes, well, I do end up killing the time there. So I want to go over Dynamite, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over, so what we're going to do, so we're going to go over Dynamite. I am going to go over SmackDown, so if we lose a little Rampage, it's kind of all in the wash, because we already lost a little bit of, because the last time we missed all of what happened on SmackDown. So I want to go the other way this time, to be fair. Also, while we will always talk about the episode of Dynamite, because we're going to be watching because Dynamite is right after this. You get your snacks or whatever you want to do at 4:30, or really for most for the East Coast, right at 7:30. Then we want to make sure and talk about Dynamite, because, like I said, that's the matches that you're going to be seeing tonight. So we want to make sure that we get Dynamite in and we get a run on Dynamite, but everything else is kind of open for grabs. And eventually we will probably be talking about some of the local scene down here in sunny California, and that should be pretty good. I know that there's one right down the street in Stanton that I was going to go check out, and definitely want to do a couple of those. The plan is I'll be going to the Forum. It's actually not the Forum anymore, or it's the Forum, but it's not the Great Western Forum. I can't remember, but anyway, it's down in central LA, and we're going to be having probably going to be trying to do some coverage of that episode. I'll actually be bringing a camera and doing, of course, following anything that AEW asks. But so let's find out what see that episode would have been. Today's the 16th. So last week, of course, would have been the 9th. Okay, cool. So November 9th. And would have had this all ready to go, except for I needed to. I was working on something, and I was really looking forward to it. So, I was working on something that I was hoping to get out today that didn't get out. So, hopefully, we'll get that out, and it should be. I really think a lot of people. I hope that it's pleasing. I think it brings a little bit more to the show. All right, here we are. So is this in particular order? I hope, because that's weird when they do that. Let's see here. Okay, here it is. Okay, so we have there's a reason. Let's see. So we had the Ass Boys, Austin and Colton Gunn, and Swerve in Our Glory, Limitless, Keith Lee and Shane Swerve Strickland versus FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, and the acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. Billy Gunn rushes the ring and jumps Shane Strickland before the bell. BJ Whitmer has to come down to cool him down and talk him into going to the back. The mat, because he's so mad about Swerve breaking his fingers or cutting them off, or I don't know what the gimmick is on that, but basically something bad being done to Billy Gunn's fingers and him being mad about it. So we had Austin working Dax over in the corner, trading punches. Harwood gets him in the corner and tags Wheeler in. Gunn tags out to Strickland. Boots putting Boots to Cash. He gets away, tagged to Caster. Shane tags Lee in. Max throwing body blows. Keith swats him down and scoops him up, but Caster slips out. Kick combo, back elbows to the Guns as they run in. This is a hard match to follow because you're watching 8 folks fighting. All of Max's teammates run in for quadraphonic mounted punches in the corner. Baby faces hold a scissor party, and we go to break. Back from the commercial, Harwood drops Austin for a back suplex. He tags Colton in, passing Dax in the corner. Sidestep, the corner avalanche, tag to Bowens. Lighting Strickland and Gunn up with chops, front kick into combo punches and elbows, takes Swerve out. The match breaks down. Colton and Cash crash to the floor. The Acclaim working Strickland over. Lee blocks the Frankensteiner. Power bombs Bowens into Caster. Double team, high-low, assisted Tamilo from Strickland. Takes everybody out. Dax pulls Keith down to the floor. Up top with Austin Gunn. Superplex off the top and to the floor. Pile the men on the floor. Back inside, and he's got Austin in the sharpshooter. Colton breaks it up with a stiff right hand. Crotch chop off the ropes. Bowens with the arrival. Caster hits a mic drop. FTR ready with the big rig. And I know I'm reading this match, but understand I actually did end up falling asleep during this. All right. So they claim FTR and the Acclaim win by pinfall with a lateral press from Anthony Bowens on Austin Gunn. Then we get the interview from Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and he says he's been advised by doctors to stay off the road until his match against Jon Moxley at Full Gear. And that match is important because it might just crown him as the face of the next generation of pro wrestling. Guys like Bruno Sammartino, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and John Cena. Guys are exactly what MJF is. So all he has to do is etch his name into history is to have a nice long title reign. And he's not going to pretend that Jon Moxley is going to be easy to beat. Mox wasn't born to be world champion. He doesn't have an athletic bone in his body. But he worked his ass off to be a man. He is today, and he respects that. But Max says he was born for this and to wave the flag and do interviews and make everyone talk about wrestling again. That throne is for the taking, and he's going to take it. And he's sick of waiting his turn. He's had his spotlight stolen from him again and again, by Cody's neck tattoo, by Mark Hardy falling like Humpty Dumpty, by Chris Jericho for a full calendar year. And then on his big return, his spotlight went to a press conference. He's not waiting for the spotlight anymore. He's taking it. William Regal bet on the wrong horse because come Full Gear, the devil gets his due. And really good promo, really strong. He always does a very good promo. Then we had Eddie Kingston versus All Ego Ethan Page in the Contenders Tournament. Kingston with the side headlock. Page takes him to the floor, lays him out, stomping on the shoulder, drawing Eddie up for the elbows. Back inside, King gets a butterfly suplex or two. Oh, what am I doing? This is by Cage Side Seats. I always want to attribute people when they do work. And they wrote this blog that I'm using. And I want to give them the respect. So the end of the match, we have Ortiz takes Stoke to the back. Page ducks the back fist to the future. Roundhouse kick from Page. And he goes up top. Kingston right with him, biting his forehead, but Ethan gets under him, crotches him, setting him up for Ego's Edge. Avalanche, Ego's Edge does it. And so we have, so he advances to the, what do they call that? That's weird. I can't remember right now for some reason. The AEW, the World Championship #1 Contenders Tournament first round match. They actually call it they call it something else, but anyway, it doesn't matter. They call it something silly. Rush's interview backstage with the Dark Order. Jose is still trying to get Ken to defect. He's willing to offer him the first title shot against Rush when he inevitably wins the tournament and the title. Rush tells him to think about it because he doesn't have a second chances. Ardevar is in the ring, offering to sell his butler to Wardlow for the TNT Championship and save them both the trouble of having a match. Then we have Ari Devaro versus Wardlow, which is very quick. And, the orchestra is playing. In other words, he power bombs him several times. Post-match, Wardlow calls Powerhouse Will Hobbs out. Hobbs answers the call and says they're doing this on his time. Wardlow says the title is his and he always will be his. And for that matter, he's going to take every title in this company. Samoa Joe doesn't like the sound of that and cracks Mr. Mayhem over the head with the ROH World Television Championship. He chokes Wardlow out with the Coquina Clutch. Powerhouse says he'll see him soon. Backstage, Jade Cargill and her baddies are interviewed by Renee Paquette. She's sick of Nyla Rose parading around with her title, and she's going to handle things this Friday in Boston. Tony Schiavone introduces Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Saraya for an in-ring interview. This was kind of a weird one. They were arguing about it being her house. Baker asked if there's anything more fickle than an AEW fan, and she asked if Saraya even still knows how to do this. And if you're new to the program or you just don't really follow things, Saraya was Paige in WWE, and she's the one that had the movie Fighting for My Family. She's been coming after her since the day she got here, why she thinks she's got it. Britt built AEW from the ground up until it became a fortress that wrestlers, no superstars like Saraya, wanted to move into. And it's interesting because she's supposed to be the heel in this bat. She's not really liked in this bat, but it turned out that most people were pretty happy about that because she's defending AEW and stuff. She had a good line where basically she says, Saraya's step with her because she's everything she wishes she could have been, and she thinks that's not true. She left her house and walked into hers. Baker says they don't take walk-ins. So, bitch, make an appointment. Which, kind of funny. And then Saraya basically said that she was the money person. It's kind of hard to go over all these promos, but this was an interesting one. Then we had Sanjay Dutt and QT Marshall and Danhausen. Danhausen and best friends come up to the steps and yell at Lee Johnson for ruining Danhausen's Halloween and hanging out with these hat people. Then we have Jay Lethal versus Trent Beretta in the ring. We get the bell. Jay keeps on the leg. Beretta powers up some forms. Lethal sends him to the floor. Chuck and Danhausen come to check, and we go to break. Back from commercial. Beretta struggles to his feet, fires off a chop, a German suplex, hanging under the waist lock, shifting half Nelson, suplex connects. Trek gets a solid 2. Busaki knee sets up a strong 0, but Sanjay and Saddam are on the apron and Danhausen running interference. Danhausen pokes Dutt in the gentleman's area. Singh knocks him off the apron. Lethal takes advantage of the distraction and Jay wins by pinfall. Which so basically you have someone mid card getting beaten, but only with a distraction. Then we have all kinds of craziness. We have Tony Schiavone who's interviewing them, but then Sanjay takes the mic from him and tells him to shut up and sit down. Dutt says he promised a huge surprise last week and deliver with his good friend Jeff Jarrett. Then Jeff Jarrett comes out. Jeff Jarrett talks a lot. And hey, feel free to let me know what you think about Jeff Jarrett coming back. I think he's great backstage, but what do you think about him wrestling and being not quite part of the main event scene, but part of the wrestling scene? Mox says he was 25, 26 when he first met Regal. So there was a lot of promos in this. Then we have Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue. Tony Storm's in Blue's corner for this. Sky is taking it to her, but Hayter bails to the floor, falling after. Jamie whips her hard into the barricade and scoops her up, but Blue slips out and puts Hayter into the post. Back inside off the ropes, La Castadora, arm drag, rising knee. Britt Baker trips Sky up. Jamie and backbreaker and the back body drop driver. We go to break, back from commercial. Sky taking out Team DMD, diving cross body for Hayter. Nope, grappling for position. Enziguri staggers Jamie, blew off the ropes. Yoshi Tonic, still no. Schoolboy for 2. Hayter with arms. Sky throws her own back off the ropes into the super kick. Jamie blasts her with the boot, smashes her into the turnbuckle, grinding her forearm in her face and getting admonished by referee Rick Knox, who is a terrible referee and should never be admonishing anybody. Just my opinion. Hammer whip, electric chair, La Castadora, Hayter counters. Jamie Hayter wins by pinfall with a ripcord lariat. Post match, Hayter puts boots to Blue briefly before Tony chases her out of the ring. Then we have it's the last one, right? Yeah. I need to see this match, which is Bryan Danielson versus Sammy Guevara. Falls 2 out of 3 falls match. Hard striking out the gates. Danielson with the edge, back him into a corner with uppercuts and chops, smashing his face in the turnbuckle. Chops and kicks, whip across, backflip up, over off the ropes. Leapfrogs, drop kick, takes Bryan out of the ring. Back inside, Ty Malo gets between Dragon and Suicide Dive. So he goes to the floor, shoves her out of the way. Sammy wings a chair at Danielson's face. So Bryan Danielson wins the first fall by DQ, going up 1-0. He takes Dragon to the timekeeper's table, stabs him in the eye with a microphone, overhead elbows. Sammy rolls back inside as we go to the break. That should have been a DQ too. Back from commercial, Danielson bleeding. Guevara is raining punches down on the wound on his forehead. Big knee in the corner. Backbreaker rack. Sammy Guevara wins the second fall by pinfall with the GTH. Evening things 1-1. Guevara laying chops in on top. Danielson shoves him away. Sammy trips coming back. And the jockey for position. Headbutt knocks Guevara down. Bryan perches. Nobody home on the diving headbutt. Sammy gets an arm trap crossface. Winching back. Rolling Dragon into the middle of the ring. But he's still fighting. Danielson posts to his feet. Lifts Guevara up. But he bites the back of Bryan's head and forces him back to the mat. Crawling for the ropes. Danielson forces the break. Trading shots in the corner. Bryan with headbutts. On headbutts. Whipped reverse. Sammy off the second. Danielson clocks him with a knee. As we go to break. Back from commercial. Referee Bryce Ramsberg ejects Ty Mello from ringside. Good on you, Bryce. Trading forearms and their knees to their feet. Danielson suplexes Guevara into the tree of woe, kicking the ribs, basement drop kick, setting him up. Sammy slips out and knocks Bryan to the floor with a running knee. Guevara up top, shooting star press to the floor. Back inside, Guevara goes for the ace crusher, but Danielson catches him and bends him into the label lock. Sammy gets the ropes, Dragon breaks and follows it with the chest kicks, jumping knee, backbreaker, rack. Danielson reverses the TTH. Poison Frankensteiner. Sammy gets a Boston Crab, shifting to the Lion Tamer. Back to the Crab. Bryan crawling, and he gets to the ropes for the break. GTH attempt. Danielson lands on his feet, off the ropes. Busake knee. Dragon fired up. Ritz clutched. Guevara reverses. Moonsault DDT. Up top, Senton Atomica, but the knees are up. Crucifix elbows of the American Dragon, rolling over. Label lock in the middle of the ring, wrenching back as hard as he can. Sammy wavers, trying to crawl. Danielson bends his free arm back. Arm trap, label lock. It's over. Bryan Danielson wins the third and final fall by submission with an arm track label lock, winning the overall 2 out of 3. And that was Dynamite. We're just at Dynamite. Wow, that's what I thought. So, wow. So, that being Dynamite, we may have to figure out how to do more shows because we didn't even get to SmackDown today. But I'm going to give you... first, I do have to let you guys know that we do have a sale right now. You can get notepads, spiral notepads for $9, $11 USD mugs, $14 USD tote bags, pillows starting at $20 USD, and slim phone cases. And the protective cases for $23. And you can find those on tpublic.com/stores/gaming-fixx. And just get one of those things. Maybe get yourself a nice pillow or a mug. It is getting cold out, and maybe have yourself some coffee or some cocoa and think about us, and that cup of cocoa will help us keep the lights on, which we really would appreciate here at the 123. And just to run through the card, won't interrupt your snacks too badly. You do have 30 minutes to get them, so I think you're pretty good. But let's give you the Dynamite match card. I guess the okay, we have the Rampage results. But let's talk about tonight. We've got we're going to have Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara in a tag match, Death Triangle and Top Flight and AR Fox for the, that's what it's called. It's called the Title Eliminator Tournament. And that's going to be Ethan Page and Bandito. We're going to have Tony Storm and the Bunny, the Acclaimed music video. So I'm guessing it's going to be a Scissor Me special. And featured, we're going to have Samoa Joe, John Moxley, and MJF making some comments. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Saraya. We'll hear from. So yeah, so those are all hearing from. Anthony Bowens and Swerve Strickland are going to go at it in a one-on-one fight. Hopefully no stipulations. And that is what we are going to see tonight in 30 minutes. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. We are going to try and figure out how to talk about some of the other matches. Oh, there's one thing I do have to talk about on Raw, since we're not going to get to Raw, but I'm going to mention this. There was a really good fight between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins? Yeah. Between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, and it was really tat for tat, kind of a nail biter. And then they brought in Judgment Day, and they brought in it was AJ Styles. It was AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. So it was really good knockdown drag out. And then we had everybody show up, including Finn Balor and including Seth Rollins at the very end. And even though the match really didn't conclude, and that's right. I don't remember which one won even, because it was such a distraction finish. And then they brought in Seth Rollins and Austin Theory came in and just knocked out Seth and held the belt high, which was fine. But I hate to see a storyline go forward at the expense of a really good match. So that was kind of disappointing. Anyway, go and enjoy Dynamite. I know they've been a little bit lackluster lately, but try and enjoy it anyway. And I will be right back here on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can come and watch or even comment. And if you like our program here on YouTube, please like and subscribe and push that bell for notifications. And thank you for listening to the 123. Ding, 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 ding.